Good evening, everybody, and how are we all doing today? It is another Sunday night live stream coming to you from the Podding Shed on the 19th of November 2023. I nearly said February there for some reason. How are we all doing? Hope you are well. Hope you're all having a great week and all that jazz. Now, today, got a great little subject coming up that we want to talk about, and it is we're going to be looking through some of the seed catalogues. Now, interesting thing I noted when I can't remember who suggested this last week, but when it came through, I thought, oh yeah, I would have had loads of seed catalogues come through my door, and then I realised I haven't actually received any seed catalogues at all. So I spent this week ordering a few seed catalogues to try and get some. I've only got two, I'm afraid, but I think that will be enough for today. But before that, let's get into let's see if anybody is actually out there tonight. Ballycillian Allotment Man is out there saying good evening to everyone. Another rainy day it is, isn't it? It's rather annoying, all this rain. We've got Adrian out there saying hello, good evening to you. We got Turbo Stream out there saying good evening, Veg Podcasters. Good evening to you. He also goes on to say another wet and windy week in the Shire, so very little gardening done. Graham Moulton is out there. Hi everyone, hope you've all had a good week. Good evening to you. Digwell, bonos nachas mis amigos, espero que todos estén bien. No idea what that is, but I'll just read it out anyway. Hargrave Gas says, evening everyone, hope you've all had a good week. Digwell comes back, said, oh, good evening, my friends. I hope you are all well. Good evening to you. We have got Anna Jones saying, evening, gardeners. Good evening to you. Stuart Jackson is saying, evening, Richard and the Veg Army. Good evening to you. Lynn B is out there saying, hello, everyone. Good evening to you. Rebecca, good evening, Richard. Lovely to watch live this week. I've had to do some catching up on the show recently due to other commitments. I was worried about you, I'll be honest. I wondered, I hope you were okay. So hope everything is okay. Graham Arnold is out there saying, good evening, all. Good evening to you. We have got, who else have we got? Chili Kate is out there. Good evening, everyone from the Chilies. We'll be processing our chili harvest during tonight's show. How many chilies have you managed to harvest? My dad is out there. Good evening. Hope you got the walk in. Yes, we did. Hope Teddy was okay after Roxy getting a bit rambunctious. Bethan's Kitchen and Garden, evening all. Hope you've had a good week. Good evening to you. And Jenny also out there. Hello, everyone. Hope you are well. Sorry I've missed the last couple of weeks. It's been madness finishing the house move. Just realised I must change my address for the seed catalogues. Whoops. Yeah, I wonder what's happened to all mine. I wonder what's happened to mine. Graham says, hit the like button, Wayne, guys. Helps the channel. Indeed, it does. Please do hit that like button, subscribe and follow, and click the notifications so you know when we go live. I will say that again, but let's get into it. Idaho says, hello, I've just hit the thumbs on the way in. Lovely, lovely. Nicola is out there saying, evening all. Nicola, hope you are well. Who else have we got? Chili Phil, we harvested quite a few chilies, just popped a photo up on Facebook. Still got a couple of plants to harvest. I will have to check that out. I don't think I got it in tonight's photos, but nonetheless, I will check that out. So let's get into this, shall we? This is the time of year when usually lots and lots of different catalogues start falling through our letterboxes so that we can have a good browse and see what we get. However, I've noticed in recent years that the seed catalogues are moving more and more online. And I have to admit, I don't find myself looking through catalogues quite as much as I used to. So, first catalogue I've got is the Dobbies Seed Catalogue of 2024. And I don't know, I've had a quick look through here. It's a difficult one to try and work out how we could go through this. So what I've done, I've set up the extra camera on the side here so we can try and have a look. It says Dobbies Veg Best Sellers. So there's a carrot called Maestro F1, a fine choice for conventional or organic growing. There was a climbing bean called Cobra, which I've grown Cobra before. Very, very good bean. Not sure I would be ordering it, but I might actually already have some seeds in the catalogue. And by the way, the two catalogues I've got, Dobby's is this one, and King Seed as well. You've probably got other seed catalogues, so don't forget to let your recommendations of what seed catalogues you've been looking through and whether they are any good in the comments as well. Just quickly, Digwell says Dobbies or Dobbies, they are different. It's the one with a single B. Yes, Dobbies. Dobies, I don't know how to pronounce it. Lynn says the signal is a little low tonight. Lynn, I'm having buffering issues. Graham Bolton is too. The signal is a little low. Let's hope. I normally find once we get into it, it might just suddenly boost up. We'll keep a close eye onto it. Rebecca says, it's very kind. Thank you, Richard. Life has been taken over recently. My gardening mojo has gone out the window. I'm going to try and get back into it. I'm sure browsing seeds with you will inspire me. Don't you hate it? There are times when the garden mojo does go. I will admit it's been a struggle for me lately with the weather mostly. Hopefully the weather is going to get better. December I usually find is a bit better, and I think that's when the garden mojo will come back. Nick Turbo Stream says, I ordered a few seeds from the King Seed catalogue like the allotment give out. I usually order a few things as the allotment gets some money back for allotment funds. Indeed, yeah, it's a good thing to do there. Anna says, hi, Idaho Garngal. Enjoyed your birthday bash last week. Happy birthday, Idaho Garngal. I'm sorry I missed it. I missed it. I'm sorry. Happy birthday. Nicholas says signal is good for her, and Hargrave Gas says there's no buffering for him either. So I have seen the signal has just improved, so hopefully it's going to stay like that. Now, Digwell says Dobby, Sutton, Thompson and Morgan, all the same company, as are DT Brown and Mr. Fothergills. Yes, that is true. There are several seed companies that own each other or come under the same umbrella. So it's always interesting what happens there and how that affects everyone else. But, you know, we've just got to go with it. There was, I think, when Saturn's was trying to buy Thompson and Morgan, there was a bit of debate whether that's going to be a good thing anyway. Right, let's get on with this catalogue and see what else there is to look at. So it's not easy. I could have done with setting a camera from the back, couldn't I? Into peas. I mean, beans. So what have we got? Crimson flowered, nice looking bean. I've caught my eye there. That's a broad. Try that. A broad bean called crimson flowered. That sounds quite an interesting one. Yard long bean as well, just down here. Sorry, I'll try and get that into focus. Not easy to do. Yard long bean. I could have done it on the overhead thinking about it. Is that? Let's see. Is that any better? That might be better, because I can bring that in a little bit more. Yeah, that might be a better way to do this. Yeah, so what else have we got? Demonica there, which is autumn. I just realised you can't actually see my finger. Let's move that out of the way. That one, yeah, you can just about see it. Move this out of the way. Demonica there, autumn or spring sowing, which I always do like. Let's move on. Climbing French beans. Nothing's really jumping out at me at the moment as being particularly interesting. Although the Belotti Fire Tongue, I had a lot of success this year with the Belotti beans. So I'm definitely going to be growing Belottis next year. In fact, I've saved some seeds from those. I've grown a purple TP before. They're quite a popular one to buy from a garden centre. I can't see any there that are new that I can see or really jumping out at me. I've grown some of those, the jackpot mix before, which are good for in pots or small gardens and what have you. Fairly decent. These are runner beans now, by the way. Moving on from the usual. What else have we got? Guinness record. These ones here. Beans up to 40 to 50 centimeters long. Red flowered runner bean. Fantastic to grow for the village show. So 40 to 50 centimeters, that's nearly 2 foot compared to prize winner here, which produces foot long. So, yeah, interesting that. Tomatoes, I think these are always a good one to look for. And straight away, this one here I can see is new, called Raindrops Trio F1. What makes this tomato different is the fact that most of the fruit is produced above the leaves, meaning it's easier to harvest. So quickly come back. Tomatoes for me, I'm always growing tomatoes. Blight is always a problem, so I am having to find myself move towards a blight-free tomatoes, unless they're for the greenhouse. So always a bit of an interesting one when it comes to tomatoes, but yeah. Let's have a quick look what everyone is saying in the comments. David Williams has joined. Good evening to you. He says hi all just there. What else have we got? Turbo Streams says, my allotment is still very wet, so I'm using this time to have a gardening holiday. Hopefully after the new year I can resume winter jobs I can't get on with. Wet is just so annoying at the moment, isn't it? We need a bit of sun. Just a few days of sun is all it needs. Brian's Garden Polytunnel has joined. Hi all, good evening to you. We're looking through seed catalogues tonight. We have got TurboStream. I find I forget what I order, so when the seeds turn up, it's a genuine surprise. I was looking at another seed online for bulk ordering, and it was quite surprising the difference in price. I'll say like that. Digwell says, I get sent all the seed catalogues, but I don't really look at them after the first few offer pages. I tend to browse online mostly, as I usually know what I want. This is a good point. Very good point when it comes to seed catalogues. I remember in the old days, the Argus catalogue or the Index catalogue, we used to spend hours pouring through that, working out what we wanted for our Christmas presents and stuff like that. And I think that was always, I mean, catalogues, of course, before garden centres, that's how everybody got their seed, through catalogues like this. So there's a lot of history in the catalogue, but do we really look at them so much anymore? I don't think I necessarily do. I do find what other people are growing and use that as a starting point and see if there's anything interesting for me. Bethan says to Idaho, happy belated birthday. Scott has joined. Evening all. Sorry I'm joining late. Not a problem, buddy. Hope you are well. David says, one of the sweetest green beans I've grown is a yellow one from Lidl's. Can't remember the name though. There was I can't think what it was called. There was some yellow ones I've tried before, so I can't think what it was called. Jenny says, has anyone noticed some catalogues say rare for some seeds, yet there is nothing rare about them? Readily available in lots of places and often cheaper as well. Can't say I've noticed that, actually. I can't say, but we may see that as we go on through these catalogues and see what they get. Turbo Stream says, I think I mainly ordered flower seeds for my home garden. I mean, I order my seeds on a monthly basis at the moment, as many of you know, but plenty of options there. Idaho says, I'm trying to grow as many heirlooms and open pollinated as possible. I still grow a few hybrids. Hybrids offer some great disease resistance, but hybrids are more expensive. But I want to save my own. I think that's important. If you are looking to save your own, then you really want to steer away from the F1 varieties. But again, I have no problem with F1 varieties, providing they're not genetically modified. That's my limit. Stu says, I only get one catalogue now, and that's Hayloft. Only flowers here, as I only use the seeds from the supporters club. Only buy top-up packs for school. And on that note, TurboStream says, my main seed supplier is a place in Littlehampton. Still don't know who he is. Of course, members of the supporters club, where we get seeds sent out every month. It's like I'm a seed dealer, isn't it, sometimes? Grow Veg UK has joined. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Hope you are well too, buddy. Lovely to see you. I think, what else have we got? Turbo Stream says we definitely need some sun. I think I get the sad in the winter. I perk up when the sun shines. We definitely do need sun. Just stop raining for a week. That's all we need. Bit of sun. I mean, December we normally get a bit of sun, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to make any predictions. Now, Brian Gunn and Polytunnel actually says a good point here. I tend to stick to tried and tested varieties veg I know suit my taste buds. This is a good question. Well, a good question I want to throw out to you guys. Do you like to experiment with different varieties each year, or do you stick with your tried and tested? I personally try and experiment with different varieties and see what we've got out there, see if there's anything that is particularly special to me. But at the same time, I do like to fall back on the tried and tested varieties as well. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on that very question. What else have we got? Jenny says, I prefer online catalogues, save the trees, plus you can easily compare the different sites / suppliers for the best value. Best way to spend a wet afternoon. I agree. I've spent a bit of time today looking through seed catalogues or an online seed supplier. Just trying to find out price comparison and weight comparisons, etc. Ultimately, it all depends on the yield that we get too. Bally City says, I watch what the northern allotment video makers are growing, then base my seed order on that. The catalogues don't give enough climate information. It's a good point. It's a very good point. The climate information is a very tricky thing. And let's face it, that no 2 years are the same either. You know, you could have something that's particularly good one year and not so good another year. Andrew Norris has joined and says, every town here has a green market, and come spring, there are always many stalls selling veg seedlings. These are a staple offering. I always bring back from England seeds of more interesting plants. Fantastic. Let's get back into this catalogue and see if there is anything even more interesting. So sticking with the tomatoes, there's this new one here called Super Steak, which obviously is a big beefsteak tomatoes. It can range or produce a tomato from 500 grams to 1 kilogram. Do I give that a try next year? I'm tempted. And then over here, I can see there's some of the crimson varieties, the blight resistant ones, which are the ones I have to say I tend to lean towards a bit more now, just because blight is so bad on my allotment. So, yeah, what's going on here? New seed highlights. There we go. So we're getting into it. Marigold F1. Get ready to revolutionize your garden with the world's first blight-resistant orange fruited tomato. Enjoy bountiful harvests of brilliantly vibrant, rich orange tomatoes without worrying about blight ruining your crop. So that's an idea, isn't it? And then we've got half pint pea, a dwarf variety of peas over here. Interesting. A basil spicy saber. That sounds very, very interesting. And then a squash, which Fitsu black early. Interesting ones to look at. Moving on from that, so veg seeds, broccoli, green manure. Oh, these are veg seeds to sow now. Broccoli, green manure, winter mix, cauliflower, leaf salad, rocket, parsley, and so on. Salad onions, the usual sort of things. I'm going to sort of scan through a lot of these and see if there's anything that I find interesting. We're moving on to the broccolis now, and broccolis are broccolis. Although I have to admit, the sort of Rab 60 varieties I'm tending to move away from because I just don't find them to be that interesting. Yeah, they're quick, but I don't find them to be that interesting or worth growing Rab 60 ones anymore. I prefer to grow normal broccoli. Savoy cabbage, club root resistant. There's a couple there, not a problem I have. Some all cut in. Nothing really is jumping out at me at the moment to really bring me in. Although that cauliflower there, with a yellow head is, or orange curd. That looks interesting in some ways. Carrots. There's a black carrot that's new and a short and sweet Burpees carrot that's new. Again, I grew these rainbow mix this year. They did quite well, but I can't say I would bother with them again. Courgettes. Nothing new I can see. And then cucumbers. Cucumbers, I did really well with cucumbers this year, and I'm hoping to replicate that next year. I definitely want to grow Venlo pickling again because they were really, really good cucumbers, as well as many of the standard decent sized cucumbers and so on. So Market More was one example. Again, there's only one Party Time, which is a new one, an easy to grow all female Parthenocapic snack type, producing 3 to 4 delicious fruits at every node every few days. That sounds interesting, actually. That does sound very interesting. So I might give that one a go. Let's run back to the comments quickly and see what everybody is saying. By the way, always feel free to leave a comment and join in the conversation. Digwell says, I don't like it how many seed suppliers now use the word heirloom to mean open pollinated when it used to mean much the same as heritage, but heritage are or were older. She Grows Veg has just launched, if anybody is interested, her own seed company where they are only selling, I believe, I could be wrong on this, but heirloom vegetables. Which, if you are interested in that, go check that out. She Grows Veg. Jenny says, David, I did what what's that about? Has somebody I've just seen? David, very kind. Thank you. For just a little top on top of the Seed Club to help out. Thank you very much. I've not really done this. I only done this. I activated this because YouTube tends to favour those. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. Cyber Extreme says, when you choose seeds for the supporters club, how do you decide on the variety? Good question. So, how do I decide on the variety? It's a number of reasons. So for those that don't know, I should explain this. I run a supporters club which helps fund everything that we do here at the Veg Grower Podcast. And each month I try and send out 6 different packs of seeds that can be sown in that very month. So the first thing I look for is varieties that can actually be sown in that month. And then I whittle it down on a variety of things that basically means that I can give you enough seeds that it looks like you've got a decent amount. For me, that's quite a big thing. And that produce well. I don't want to grow any of these that are really, or send out seeds that are really hard to grow. So yeah, basically what can be sown that month, what's going to produce well, and what gives a decent amount of seeds is the principal thing that I work that out with. Rebecca, on that note of cucumber, I enjoyed cucumber juice this year, so I'm hoping to grow loads next year. Me too. I'm really, really hoping to grow loads and loads of cucumbers next year. And we did really well this year, I've got to say, and I'm pleased with that. Funny enough, I'm pleased with a lot that we grow this year. So we were very much self-sufficient in the fruit and veg department this year. But I'll cover that in a future podcast. What else have we got? Graham says, I like the sound of spicy basil. I'll be giving it a go this year. Yeah, I like the sound of that as well. And Digwell says, new is another very deceiving world. Is it a new variety or just new to the catalogue? Probably just new to the catalogue. New for their season is what I would say. What else have we got? Scott says, Stremski F1 cucumber is a cucumber I want to try growing. I tried them fermented off a Polish friend and they tasted amazing and good texture. So definitely growing those next year. That sounds fantastic. I really did like my cucumbers this year. And it says, I once ordered just AGMs, had some very poor results from some, so went back to my list of old favourites this year. I think sometimes it is difficult to get it right, isn't it? I like to experiment and try different varieties, but sometimes that does come back to bite me. I can't think of any examples this year off the top of my head. I know there was some that I tried that just didn't work. So yeah. Stuart says, I would like to say the Supporters Club seeds germination has been around 98% last year, so thank you. All the seeds I send out, they come into me and they go out to you, so they are fresh seeds when I use them. What else? Not, it's my first name, Digwell. What's going on there? Moved on. Moved. You hear me? Uh, no. Right, hopefully you can hear me. Let me just turn the speakers down on that so I don't get... can you hear me now? Can you hear me? I don't know what's going on. I can see myself. Let's remove that quickly, and I'll keep trying to bring that back in because I can control it from here. This is fun. This is fun. I don't know what's happened there because some connection has gone somewhere. I'm hoping it's going to pop up. But let's carry on with this, looking through this seed catalogue. It's going to be tricky to do now without the computer, but we'll figure a way out. Swiss chard is next on this list, and much better and no buffering. I know why. It's because I'm using my phone as opposed to the see if it's working yet. No. It's because I'm using my phone as opposed to the PC, although that's worrying that the image should be better when I've got expensive cameras and stuff going on here. Anyway, let's carry on with this. Swiss chard. There's a few different varieties of Swiss chard going on there. We've got peppermint, we've got silver, we've got French, a few other things. Let's see. No, that's still not working. So what can I do? What can I do? I wonder if I can... I'm going to try leaving the studio on that one and come back in. But Swiss chard, I've had a lot of success with Swiss chard this year. So I'm hoping that's going to carry on next year. We've got plenty of like this beautiful canary going on. Hang on, I'm seeing if we've got this working now. Oh yeah, we've got it working. That's the trouble, isn't it? The camera sometimes carries on. I'll worry about that in a minute. Right, where were we? I hate it when technical issues go wrong on this. Right, let's have a look. Swiss chard, different varieties and mustard and rocket. Again, nothing new until we get into the lettuce. Sulfito is a new one. Can be harvested one leaf at a time or as whole heads. I can hear myself on the other phone. That's the only new one I can see there. Herb seeds to get a drop shoot is a new one. I've never heard of that, but that sounds interesting. I have heard of to get, and I can't think off the top of my head what that is. That does ring a bell. Fennel, grew fennel this year. I don't like fennel, so we'll see what happens. Let's have a quick look at the comments because I've missed a few out there. Let me just silence that one. What else have we got? He's back. I'm back indeed. David says back to normal. Excellent. I've moved the router, which seems to have proved it as well. Jenny says, I find it so hard to edit my tomato list. It grows every year. I have a wish list from someone's tomato taste videos now as well. I just can't say no. Catalogues will make it worse. There is always so many choices of tomatoes, isn't it? It's hard to nail it down as to what we really want. But I think for me personally, when it comes to tomatoes, I'm sticking more with my blight-resistant varieties for outdoor tomatoes. And then I'm just going to use up all the existing tomatoes that I have for greenhouse tomatoes. I went through my seeds yesterday. I threw away an entire dustbin liner full of old seeds just to make a bit more room. There we go. Chili Phil says, image is better now than earlier. No buffering now. How is it? How is it now? Is it still any better? Is it any buffering going on? What else have we got? Scott says, love peppermint Swiss chard. Yeah, it's a nice little colour, isn't it? I don't think it tastes of peppermint from what I understand. I've never grown it, but I don't think it tastes of peppermint, but it's got a nice colour to it. What else have we got? Graham says, I'm wanting to try the peppermint chard next year. My rhubarb chard is growing huge at the moment. Yeah, I got canary yellow chard, and that's grown huge. I'm using it for smoothies for breakfast and actually going down really well. Chili Kate says, I like to try new varieties alongside a few trusted varieties. Things we will probably always grow are Najina tomatoes, Market More cucumbers, and Basket of Fire chilies. Good choices. I'm definitely with you with Market More cucumbers and Basket of Fire chilies. Again, there's some I like to grow, some I like to experiment with. For me, tomatoes, it's always Crimson Crush and Mountain Magic. Just purely because of the blight resistance. Idaho says, I tried the Swiss chard that was called Perpetual Spinach and was pleased. I will grow that again. Excellent. Yeah. They are really good. Andrew says, all good here now. Excellent. I had real success with Swiss chard this year. I'm still eating it from the garden. I'm still growing it over winter. Swiss chard. I had so much of it. I'm just putting it into places wherever I can fit it. What else have we got? Way better now, says Graham. Excellent. Brilliant here. Excellent. 5x5 here. Unfortunate name for the sulfita lettuce. Sounds like sulfite. Indeed it does. Anna Jones says, seen lots of YouTubers growing peppermint chard. It looks wonderful to look at. Yeah, I've seen a few people using it. I've actually seen somebody use it as like a pot plant indoors as well. So it might be an idea on that. Chili Kate says, Najina are blight-resistant plum tomatoes. Great for cooking. Oh, I will be trying that out. I will try get some of those seeds as well. What else have we got? Idaho says, I grew Rainbow Child 3 to 4 years ago and it keeps coming back. That's a dream come true for me. I'd love it if all my veg would just come back. Wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all? Jenny says, Scott, me too. My last seed order came in. I may have ordered a lot, but can't be helped. Blue face smiling. There must be an emoji there or something. Bunny Soon says, I tried Rose Crush this year. They had good blight resistance. I've not heard of Rose Crush, but I will give that a try. While I've been talking to you, wrong one. I've just noticed this one here, oyster leaf plant. Now, I saw this at a, where was it? Where it's Audley End House when I was up there. And I picked a couple of leaves to give it a try. It's quite nice, actually. The Vegetarian's Oyster, it's called. Slightly earthy flavours combined superbly with seafood, but also add an interesting salty element to surf and turf. I'm definitely going to be trying that oyster leaf plant this next year because that just, to me, seems really, really interesting. So I'm looking forward to trying that out. Moving on into leeks. Only new one is Lancaster, but I can't say anything really there blowing me away. Onions, Red Over F1 is a new one, and salad onions, Marksman. I can't say anything really jumping out. Parsnips, new one is Sabre F1 there. Parsnips, I think it's all about good germination. I think we all have trouble with germination on parsnips. So I think that is going to be the key thing for me, finding parsnips with good germination. What else have we got? Into the peas. Nothing jumping out at me, but again, at the moment, they're much of the same. Just got to keep trying them. Chilies. We all love good chili peppers, don't we? Again, none of these are what I can see is new. Some are hotter than others, but this Quickfire and Sizzler are new ones. They sound quite interesting, but all the others, I can't see anything jumping out. There's some hot and some not so hot. Apache F1, I've always had good success with Apache F1. Not the hottest, but they're good. They're very, very produce a lot. And then sweet peppers as well. That reminds me, Digwell, I need to email you and send you over money for those seeds. Remind me, don't let me forget. Squash, we've got Hunter, which I've grown before. Nothing again. I can't see anything actually new there apart from this Gold Spec F1 pumpkin. Nothing I can really see there. And then we're getting into radishes. The Royal Purple is the only new one. That sounds quite interesting. Purple. Harvest in as little as 33 days, but can continue to crop for another 6 months. That sounds very interesting. I'm going to have to give that one a try, I think. Spinach and Swede. Nothing really jumping out at me. Some of the usual. The only new one is this Pattern F1. And then we're into sweet corn. Not much sweet corn, I've got to say. And then, what are these? Turnips. Again, nothing's. Turnips for me are a love it or hate it plant. Watermelon. I grew watermelon before, not always successfully, but I might try that again next year. Autumn planting, these are going into garlic and sets. Looking good there. I think, and potatoes. I mean, getting away from seeds a bit here, but we'll go with it. Nothing really jumping out at me for those. There's just huge different. And then we're getting into grafted plants. So I think after that, it's all about actual plants and trees and things like that. So we'll move away from that catalogue. I think we've done it for long enough. I'll tell you what we'll do. let's go to one of the videos. You sent me the challenge this week of going to my dad's gardens, and I made a little video of that. You wanted me to dig it over, but let's see what happens in this. So this is my dad's vegetable patch area. We were meant to be digging it over, but he's came up with some very strict instructions of not to dig it over. First of all, what we got going on in here?
Got our elephant
garlic, going 2 of those.
Just 2 cloves.
Let's get rid of that weed for you, shall we?
There's nothing at this end.
Nothing at this end. It's good compost, isn't it?
It is.
So you can throw compost on top of that.
Put the mesh in to stop the animals from digging. Squirrels,
dogs. Bit of perspex over as well.
Just for the winter time to protect it.
Yeah.
These are pots, but they've got daffodil bulbs in.
All right.
But they've also got mulch.
Mulch, yeah.
Wood chippings
stuff
that came off the wisteria.
There we go. Like that. And then we've got this one.
The red onions.
Red onions, electric.
They're in there. 2 rows in there.
2 rows in there.
And the rest.
Again, another one of these beds. More red onions in there. You're going to need more beds for other stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know what to do next spring. Whether make more beds, grow more stuff.
There we go. So there we go. Not much I could actually do in terms of digging, as you can see, but we might have to make more beds here. I know you all want to see Roxy sometimes, so here she is. Roxy, come say hello. I think that's all we're going to get out of her. Right, is that it for your veg garden?
That's all for the veggies.
Yeah.
I just recently made a
hedgehog house. Let's have a look at us. Did see that.
Under the trees.
There we go. Look at that. I did see that.
So the hedgehog's been out and about in the evenings.
Yeah.
A couple of nights there. He's been find it in the path.
Sure.
So we've
been busy making.
They actually climb. There's a fence behind. They actually climb up over the fence to get out.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're good climbers, hedgehogs. And I've spied you've got your insect house there. You make that
Buck Hotel
and a bird house just there as well. There we go. So the mission was actually to dig over Dad's vegetable beds, but as you can see, wasn't much to really dig over, so we couldn't really do that. But if you can think of a mission for next week, get your ideas in. I know you also know what my dad looks like as well. He's out there somewhere tonight. There was lots. Digwell has reminded me, don't forget to send the money for the seeds, Richard. I won't forget. Well, I probably will forget, but remind me. He also says you should be okay growing oyster plant as you are near the coast, a seaside plant. I'm looking forward to trying it and seeing what it tastes. In fact, that's going to be the seed that I've grown for the first time next year and see how it gets on. Turbo Extreme says, I tend to choose dwarf purple French beans, Mystique usually. Seems to grow okay. Seems to grow okay on my plot, plus dwarf broad beans. The Sutton. Indeed. Chili Cake says, love Apache chilies. Not grown them for a couple of years. Might have to put them on the list for next year. They do well, don't they, Apache? Good one to grow. Bethan says, I germinate parsnip seeds on kitchen roll first and then see the roots come through. I plant them out. Yeah, that's something we could try. I mean, most years I don't have much of a problem with parsnip seeds, but this year seems to have been pretty poor. Graham says, love sown parsnips the second week of May for the last 5 years and have excellent germination every time. I've always said that if the soil's cold, that's where we get problems with germination. If the soil's too cold, there's an old saying: if a gardener can sit down butt naked in a garden without his bum getting cold, that's when it's the perfect time to sow parsnip seeds. That's the old wives' tale, isn't it? So that to me, that just goes to show if the soil's too cold, that's when they won't germinate. David Williams says, trying piquento chilies this year, commonly sold stuffed with cheese in most superstores under another name. Lush. They are nice. They are nice. Digwell says, never buy spuds from a seed catalogue, too dear. Especially when you factor in postage and packaging. There is a lot to go on and on there. Jenny says, I doubt I will bother with sweet corn. I say that now, but it's baby corn for me. So much more to harvest and no rat problem. Yeah, if that's what you prefer, go for it. Pepper Dew, says David Williams, is the name under which they're sold. Yes, they're good. They are good. I have seen them. Digwell says, love the anti-cat mesh. I used to have it everywhere at home. My house is the only one on the estate with soil in the front garden. Cats are a bit of a problem sometimes, aren't they, in the garden? Idaho says, I use wire mesh to keep the cats out as well. And Graham says, looking forward to trying the condor spuds next year, then building my stock from those. What else have we got? Rebecca says, have you got bad weather down there? It has been bad. It's just pretty much been non-stop rain. We had a bit of sun this morning, but on a whole, it's been pretty much non-stop rain all week, or last month it feels like. Turbo Stream says, I need anti-fox mesh and badger mesh on my plot. I know how you mean. Idaho says, Roxy is so cute. She wasn't earlier, trust me. Buddy saying, Turbo, it's foxes and badgers on mine as well. Perhaps they're saying we should discuss in the future how to keep those off. Idaho says, I'm going to have to line the bottom of my raised beds to help with gophers. They are still playing in my garden. Burns me up. Gophers. They must be similar to moles, but bigger. Stuart says, as most of you know, I use paper pots. They are great for parsnip seeds. Oh, that's an idea, isn't it? We're going to have to try an experiment next year and see what's best for parsnips. What else have we got? Andrew, is the bug hotel placed where it is to feed the birds? Question for you, Dad. Is the bag hotel placed there to feed the birds, or is that just convenience? Jenny says, Nike Garden Day is in May, so get naked and test the soil temp for your parsnips. Richard, may not be suitable photos for YouTube, etc. Don't worry, I would never go into my garden naked. That would not be fair on my neighbours. Right, I have got the second catalogue, wrong camera. Second catalogue here now, which is the King Seed catalogue. 2024 they call it, and going through artichokes. I still don't know if I want to grow artichokes because I don't eat them. Perhaps a different variety, I don't know. Then we got Jerusalem artichokes, 10 tubers for £13. Well, just find to be honest with you, find somebody who has an allotment. I'm sure they will have some spare Jerusalem artichokes. Asparagus seed. I actually did really well growing asparagus from seed this year, so definitely going to be doing that again. What else? Crowns as well. Aubergine. Had a good lot of aubergines this year as well, but long purple was the ones that seemed to do well. Again, I can't see any that are new in this catalogue, but who knows? As we go on, we might find some. Bit bigger, this catalogue. So we've got beetroots over here of various things. Swiss chard again. Again, there's just nothing jumping out at me as being particularly particularly interesting at the moment. Broad beans are pretty much the same as what we've just seen. Oh yeah, Brussels sprouts. Red Bull, excellent flavour. That might be an interesting one to try. Let's say for me, and I don't know if it's just because I'm looking at this in a rush. Well, not looking at this in a rush, but obviously I'm trying to talk to you guys at the same time. So I don't know if I'm doing it, not taking it in as well as I could. But I just can't see anything at the moment that is really jumping out at me to sort of say, yeah, buy me. Yeah, it seems to be going on and on. We're into the cabbages and what have you. I do like with this catalogue, you can see here that they've given you sort of all the varieties, when's the best time to sow them and when to harvest them. So I do like that, but then they're usually on the seed packets anyway. Carrots. Again, nothing really jumping out at me at the moment with the carrots. There's a few that have got like the round in the green boxes, but nothing really to sort of say why they are like that. Let's have a quick look at the comments actually, because there's probably more going on. King Seed is a good supplier. Of course they are. They're one of the major suppliers as well. I think they supply a lot of the garden centres and the nurseries as well. So they are a very good supplier, granted. A lot of comments about the film with Bill Murray about was it Caddyshack? I can't remember. Yeah, Caddyshack. Every time you mention Gophers, I think of Caddyshack. I've contemplated Dynamite. Of course. What else have we got? TurboStream, the King Seed catalogue is very comprehensive. Too much choice for my daft brummy brain to compute. I agree with you. I think that's sometimes the trouble, isn't it, when you're trying to look through these in order for the year ahead. There's a bit too much to really take in and really work out what you want. Digwell says, don't forget, guys, Brussels sprouts are for all year, not just Christmas. Old giving pets for Christmas advert. I agree, though. I agree. We try and freeze a few Brussels sprouts. I quite like Brussels sprouts. Goes really nice on a pizza, believe it or not. If you do it right, it goes really nice on a pizza. But I know a lot of people don't like Brussels sprouts. I love the stuff personally. I tried ground board beans one year. I failed. I think you tend to call them fava beans over there, don't you? I don't know. They can tolerate the cold. So I wonder if it's just you're a bit too warm for them over there. Don't know why they might have failed for you. Let's have a look. So cauliflowers we're into now, and it's this saying, regarded by many old hands as the test of a real gardener. Certainly not the easiest vegetable to produce its best, but good planning, regular care, and a few doses of common sense can work wonders. I've got to say, when it comes to cauliflowers, I've always said they're probably one of the hardest vegetables to grow well. So I completely agree with that statement. I'm just wondering if they've got a cauliflower that they say is easy to grow, because that would probably have a bit more success for those who are looking to grow these sort of things. What have we got? David Williams says, Brussels on pizza, worse than pineapple. Give it a try. If you like Brussels sprouts, give it a try on a pizza. Bit of Christmas turkey as well, and cranberry sauce. It's actually really, really nice. Graham says, finely sliced sprouts cooked with garlic butter and smoky bacon. Bliss. Absolutely. I do like I do like Brussels sprouts. I don't know why I keep looking at that screen. Digwell says, I found my local pizza place. Do you deliver? Yes, he said. Good. I'll have a liver and onion pizza, please. Oh, I wonder what that would taste like. I wonder what... We could get carried away with pizzas, couldn't we? Idaho says, you've just pointed out why I like some seed catalogues. They include so much valuable growing information. They do. I agree. But they also... I think a lot of this information you can now find online as well these days. So good things to look at. What else have we got? Turbo Stream says, I can grow broad beans okay. They don't like cold, wet winters, though. Frost is no problem. I think the roots wet in wet soil. Yeah. David Williams says, no, Richard, no. Give it a try. If you like Brussels sprouts, then give it a try on pizza. Turkey, cranberry sauce, and a bit of pigs in blanket as well. Or anchovies, says Idaho. Anna Jones says, Mr. Fothergill's fan here. They never let me down, so I stick with them. I should probably mention I get a lot from Sutton's as well, and from Thompson and Morgan. So plenty of options out there, different companies. I've only just gone to these because they were easy to get, or they arrived in time. Just flicking through and seeing what else we've got or anything else. There's a lot. This is a thick old catalogue to get through. Celeriac. We did celeriac. I'm still unsure if I like it or not. But then we've got these purple and orange cauliflowers, which are interesting as well. Celery, self-blanching. I'm still debating whether self-blanching actually does blanch itself. Again, celery is one of those that I plug into this sort of area that's a difficult one to grow. And self-blanching, do you find that they really do blanch by their own, or do you still feel they need a deep berry? I think the secret, however, with celery is they need a lot of water and they need a moist soil. Do great in a veggie pod, actually. Try Heinz baked beans on a pizza. Drain the juice first. Nice. Use that as the base. Instead of tomato sauce, use your baked bean sauce as the base. I've grown kaleets this year as well, just to give them a try, as I've never had them. Kaleets, I've tried them. I wasn't that impressed with the flavour personally. I know a few people have sort of said the same. It's a bit of a difficult one. I think with kaleets, like Brussels sprouts, it's about getting the cooking right and how long you cook them. But yeah. Digwell says self-blanching celery has to be grown very close together to work. It's my sort of understanding as well. Just doesn't really seem to self-blanch as good as they make out. David says liver and anchovy, sprouts and pineapple. Talking about pizza now, isn't it? We've got a everyone's going to want pizza after this. We make baked bean and cheese pizza. Delicious. Oh, yeah. What else have we got? Sprouts should never be put on a pizza, just wrapped in blanket. I am with David, says Stuart. Give it a try. Give it a try is all I'm saying. Don't knock it until you tried it. Let's go back to this. So into chicory, forcing types. I like chicory, or whitloaf, or radicchio. I like chicory. It's nice. Courgettes. Yeah, I mean courgettes are courgettes. So many different varieties. Green bush is the popular one, isn't it? Easy to grow. Different varieties. Early Gem is one that might be jumping out at me here because it produces an early crop of dark green fruits. So, but then do you really want early courgettes when we usually end up with so many courgettes anyway? All green bush there, that's the one I tend to grow a lot of. Interesting. Cress, yeah, watercress or land cress. Lots of different choices there. We like cress here. Back into the cucumbers again. Exhibition one, you won't see that. Exhibition one here called Carmen F1. Again, mini munch, another one, a mini one. None of these are really crystal lemon. I've grown that in the past. Quite liked it. And then gherkin, national gherkin. I quite like those. Endive, very popular at the moment. Salad vegetable. Fennel. Again, I'm still debating about fennel. So I just seen Jenny says Zephyr spelling was a great courgette. Also shooting star. I can't see either of those in this list. Let's quickly have a look at the comments. I just said that one. Digwa says personal taste again, but chicory is a bit too bitter for me. I think that's probably why I like chicory, because I like bitter food. Chili Cake says, I grew celery for the first time this year. I can't tell you if it's self-blanching is good or not, but it grew and tastes like celery, so I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, celery is a staple in my eyes. It's something that we need to grow every year and grow a lot of in order to make sure you don't have to buy it. I use it a lot, obviously, cooking, making up I can't remember, but I want to say mille pois, but the chefs out there are going to correct me. It's when you have celery, onions, and what have you for making most dishes. There we go. Graham says, I'm glad I only put 4 Kale plants in now. It's personal taste again. I wasn't keen on them, but give it a try. And let us know how you get on, what you thought of it, because everybody is different. Everybody is different with their tastes. We've discussed this before. French beans, climbing, and dwarf. Definitely trying next year. Definitely going to try and grow a lot more of our French, our runner beans, and our dried beans as well. Because let me give it that comment. We did really well with our Melotti beans, our dried beans. I really want to replicate that next year. So I'm definitely going to be looking at more of the dried bean situation. What else have we got? Garlic. And then green manures. I've grown a lot of green manures, as you know. Lots of different ones going on there. Borage. Oh, we're into herbs here. Crikey, we really are going through these. You know what? I'm going to scan through a lot of these just to see if there is anything. Kale, kohlrabi, leeks. Below zero, extreme cold resistant. That might be useful for some people. What's extreme cold resistant though? Doesn't say. Lettuces, nothing really jumping out at me. I'm just looking at the time, so I'm hurrying this through. Mixed leaves and so on. Squashes, marrow and summer squash, it says. Vegetable spaghetti. Got to try that again. And then Little Darling watermelon. That was in the other one. And melons as well. Mushrooms. Can't do mushrooms, but okra. Yeah. Haven't tried that for a couple of years. Okra. Not had much luck growing okra in the past, but I'm going to try that again. Yeah. Right, I think Oriental vegetables, pak choi and stuff. There's nothing really jumping out at me, I'll be honest with you. So I'm going to put that catalogue to one side because I think we've sort of done it now, haven't we? We've been through 2 seed catalogues and see what everyone has. Let's quickly go through these comments and see what anybody is saying. Jenny says, not a chicory fan either. Fair enough. As I said, taste is very subjective. Some people like it and some people don't. Idaho says Zephyr was really good. I will grow it again. Digwell says Soffrito in Italy, mille pois in France. I thought it was saying like that. Yeah. Idaho, not fan of chicory here either. Every time I've eaten it, I tell myself, oh, it's a liver cleanser. Fair enough. Graham says, hit the like button, guys, please. Yes, please do hit that like button. Let us know if you are enjoying this show by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe or follow, and don't forget to click the notifications so that you know when we go live. This is all a bit different tonight, doing this catalogue, looking through. But give us your ideas. Anybody out there, they've got anything different that you want to grow next year? I've already said about the fact that I want to grow, what did I call it? It'll come to me in a minute. Oyster plant as something different next year. Has anybody seen anything like that they want to grow next year? I know Chili Kate said in the group the other day she was looking for a catalogue and seen some of the perennial vegetables that she was looking at. Anything like that? Right, let's have a look at your photos quickly because we've got to go through those. And here we are. So Scott has got his first garlic just starting to emerge. Looks great, doesn't it? It's always good to see that when garlic can be quite slow at this time of year to germinate, but when it does come through, it's always very, very satisfying. Same as the onions, they grow, it's very, very satisfying. Stuart has harvested the last of his carrots. They look absolutely delicious, I've got to say. But something I noticed, I don't know if you can see it on this, the carrots are looking a little bit hairy on the edges. And that shows sometimes, I find that when your carrots get a little bit hairy, it's a sign that they're going to start bolting soon. So there you go. You've got those out just in time. Steve has harvested his paprika, which I'm going to be buying some seeds off him in order to grow my own paprika next year as well. Bethan has harvested her main crop potatoes. Good lot of potatoes as well. Good to see. Potatoes have done pretty well this year, it has to be said. Now, Graham is asking if anyone has grown this Aztec broccoli before. I believe it's a perennial type broccoli, but if anyone has grown it before, let us know. Please do keep sharing your photos. You can post them in our Facebook group or send to me via social media or email me, richard@theveggrowerpodcast.co.uk. That's richard@theveggrowerpodcast.co.uk. Few comments have came in. So cardboard and sprouts, talking about chicory and the sprouts, of course. Bethan says maybe a challenge for next week is to cook a pizza with sprouts. Okay, I like that. That's definitely something we can do next week. It'd be more like a Christmas pizza, Xmas pizza, I'll call it. So I will make that next week and eat that on the show as well, like we did with the soup last week. That's a good one. I like that. I like that. David says amen to that. And make it tasty. I will do it. Graham says the oyster leaf, spicy basil, the Apache F1 chili and the ones I've got for them, that'll be what I'm trying next year. Yeah. And Idaho, similar to what I said, dry beans is a focus for me in 2024. Fantastic. So lots going on, lots to think about for the next growing season. Now, you did set me a seed to sow last week, and I haven't actually made a video for that. Reason being is I'm actually going to sow the seeds in this. Let me just position the camera, one of the other cameras that is a bit better to see this. So you actually sent me the seed to sow of this winter lettuce. This is an all year round variety, it's called. So, and I'm going to be doing them. Let me bring it down to this. In this piece of kit, I saw Nicola got one of these. You guys have said that they are great. They are a plug plant starter when the plug plants pop themselves out. I've already filled it up with seed sowing compost. So I believe what we've got to do, and you guys can tell me if I'm doing this right, is push that down. Have I pushed the bottom in? I don't know. I think I'm going to take that out the side for the time being in order to do this. So by doing that, it makes all the little holes in the compost, which you can just about see. And we'll bring that back over onto here, put that to one side. And what I'm then going to do is try and get a single seed in each little plug plant. Now, I try and grow lots of lettuces each year, especially over the winter months. I just find it to be a good way of keeping our fresh salads, a fresh, healthy food coming into our garden throughout the winter months when people probably aren't thinking so much about eating salads. But I think it's worth it because they just go great on sandwiches and things like that still. Plus, I'm trying to lose weight at the moment. I want to really be eating a lot of stuff that has very low calories. So, and that's another reason for me to sow and grow these. These lettuces will probably be ready, I reckon, Christmas. That these will be of a harvestable size. They can still grow on a bit longer after that. Christmas might be a bit quick thinking about it, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to trying this contraption out because you guys have said a lot of it is good. So we're just sowing these seeds, trying to get one per each thing, and hopefully that'll grow well. It's not easy. These seeds, they're so small, as I'm sure you're aware. Let's show you. That's a seed. So, they're so small. Trying to get one in a seed is not easy. There we go. That's got them all sown. Let's try and get those back in there. And of course, a few. So I always like to try and just tamp it down a little bit as well when after sowing seeds. Then that top goes on. And we will take that indoors. Actually, probably be okay in a greenhouse where hopefully they will germinate. And as they grow, we will pop those plug plants out and get them to grow on. So there we go. That is the seed of the week, lettuce sown. Let us know if you can think of a seed that we need to sow for next week. What have we got? What have we got? So Chili Kate says, I ordered the Austrian tree cabbage seeds and, of course, a number of other seeds that I never intended to buy or grow. The tree cabbage, of course, is like a perennial cabbage. So I'll be interested to see how you get on with that, Chili, Kate, of course. Jenny says, I aim to rebuild my stock of everything as I lost it all this year. Obviously, Jenny's had to move house, so she's starting effectively from scratch. Chili Phil says, I made Brussels sprout cake one year for a challenge after complaining about carrot cake. Tasted good, but after effects not great. Brussels sprout cake, that is pushing it even for me. But hey, no complaints here. I have 2 carrier bags full of seeds as I never just buy one pack at a time. Yeah, I know. I had to go through my seeds over the last few weeks and get rid of them just because there's so many of them. Bethan says, I've seen loads of YouTubers growing Austrian tree cabbage. It does look tempting as it seems to be like perpetual cabbage leaves. I'm certainly going to look at that in the future. You say that to Chili Phil, but you weren't allowed within 10 feet of Kate. Talking about the Brussels sprout cake. I've got to say, it does sound interesting, Brussels sprout cake. Stuart says, that seed tray looks great for peas and sweet peas. How expensive are they? Thanks, Richard. I think it depends where you get them from. There are bargains. I think Nicola got hers for about £9. But I think they're normally around the £15 mark. But shop around, you might get some bargains and see where they're from. They're from a company called Agrelin. Here we go. Here's the box. Agrelin Plug Plant Trainer. So I got this back in June. I've been planning or wanting to try it out for a while. So I'm hoping this year we're going to really put it to use and see how it works. Idaho says that's a nice little plug plant kit. Fantastic. Yeah, I quite like it. I know Digwell swears by his, I believe it is. So see how it turns out for us. I know it says I've just sown lettuce in one of my arrow gardens. Should be ready by Christmas. I reckon you'll be good for Christmas. Just. Richard, I like to tap the seeds down with the blunt end of a pencil. The points on that cover could damage the seeds. Yeah, good point. I was just trying to use it all in one, so fair point. Nicola says hers cost us £7. Where did you get it from, Nicola? Remind me for that. I was right. Digwell has 6 of these agrolans. Superb. I quite like them, I've got to say. I mean, I haven't used it yet, but I like the idea behind them. As I've said, I'm trying to move. I'm finding plug plants work really well for me. So I'm trying to move more onto these plug plant starters. Ginny Kate says that plug plant kit is on my Christmas list. Excellent. There you go, Chili Phil. You know what Kate wants. David says, good luck with farty pants. And Digwell says, I was cropping mine after 4 weeks in the aero garden, so definitely in time for Christmas. Nicola says she got it from Dobbies, which was these people. So, I mean, it's in here. I thought I saw it in here, actually, you saying that. Oh, no, I can't do that. But yeah, Dobbies for £7 worth a look. I love them for onion seeds. You're giving me lots of good ideas. Because Stuart says £7 would be great as I sow over 1,000 flower seeds each year. Thanks, Stuart. Yeah, I mean, I've moved on to plug plants as opposed to the root trainers. Root trainers have served me well for a number of years, but they're expensive and they're starting to fall apart. I know you can get the books, but they are a bit of a struggle. I prefer things like this where we can reuse them, to be honest. The plug plants that I brought from Wilco's, they're very thin plastic, the plug plant starters that is, and they're not, in my eyes, going to last that long. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these work out. But yeah, we'll find out, won't we? We'll find out. Right, we have got about just over 10 minutes left of tonight's show. So what do I want to say? So I need a seed to sow next month. We've got the mission sorted of this Xmas pizza or Brussels sprouts on a pizza. I will certainly do that for you. I need a seed to sow next week, which could be anything you want, and I need a subject as well. I was thinking we could do a seed swap next week because somebody's contacted me. They have loads of seeds that they're happy or might be interested in sharing out, but they're not here next week, so I'm going to do that, or like a seed swap in a couple of weeks' time, if that's okay with everybody out there. If you've got lots of seeds that you want to swap, then get them ready. Talking of a seed swap, I mentioned Seedy Sunday a couple of weeks ago for those who are in Brighton. I normally don't like to announce this until it's been officially posted, but I'm taking part in Seedy Sunday's Gardener's Question Time event. Basically, sat on the panel answering people's questions. If you are going to Seedy Sunday in the first weekend of February, they are limiting it to 30 people in this event, but if you are interested and go into it, you will find me there. So let us know if you are going in that time. Turbo Stream is saying, I bought those green clear 20 cell trays, completely useless as seed starter. Green, the ones that are, they're sort of made out of old Lucozade bottles, I think they are. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they seem to fall apart, don't seem to last. I've got some somewhere, but where? root vegetable week, says Anna Jones. So we could certainly discuss root vegetables if that's what everybody wants to do next week. Let us know. And Rebecca says, did you sow chilies yet? We sowed some a couple of months ago, but we can certainly do chilies again. It is about coming up to the time I start sowing my chilies, so I would certainly be happy to sow chilies next week. If that's, yeah, we're going to do chilies next week as a sow along. You've decided it for me. Actually, that reminds me, we wanted to do something about making chilies. I'm going to do a video on that for you. Chili plants, overwintering chili plants. I think that was the chilies who asked about that. So yeah. Turbo Stream says, I might have to get one of those trays next year. I'm hoping they're going to work out well, because I will definitely consider getting more in the future if it works out well. I'm certainly hoping they work out well, because what makes these quite unique, I should explain, is when the seeds are ready, you pop the sides in, it pushes down and it pushes the plug plant up, therefore meaning that we end up getting those seeds in a plug plant ready to pop out. Overwinter chili plants, good topic. That is a good topic, actually. That is a good topic. That is a good topic. It is a good topic. Stuart says overwinter chili plants. Thanks, Stu. Yeah, we'll do overwinter plants next week then, and then the week after the seed swap. Week after that, root vegetables. Yeah, how does that sound for you? I know I don't want to dismiss anybody or anything like that. So if everybody is okay with that, I do want to cover all the subjects that you guys want to cover. Yeah. I want to cover. I want you guys to choose the subjects that we want to do. Anna Jones says, "Go with chilies." Okay, thank you, Anna. But we will do your root vegetable subject one week in a couple of weeks' time. We've got it worked out for the next few weeks. You might have to remind me, but I want to make sure we cover everybody's. Hargrave Guest says, I have 2 agrolins. They are the only things that give me consistent good germination, and mad well as being easy to get out and pot on. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be giving that a try. And the agrolin lid has 2 positions, sealed or vented. Yeah, I saw that as well. It's in the sealed position at the moment, but I think, does it twist it like that? You twist it somehow and it, yeah, twist it, you got that notch there, which makes it vented. So yeah, 2 options for that. Hopefully they're going to work out well. Rebecca says, anyone brought the Charles Dowding seed trays? Thought about having some for Xmas. I've seen they are very popular. I mean, I should say I've got the rubber ones, not Charles Dowding ones, but the rubber seed trays that are similar to that as well. I'm trying those out with cauliflowers. They should be fairly similar. But the Charles Dowding ones have got a thicker hole in the bottom, if I remember, to get your finger up. So I've not tried them myself, but they're definitely something we will look at next. I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy some and put them on test. Indeed. Chili Cake, maybe Phil and I are biased because it's all about the chilies. Well, hopefully you guys can send in a video then about your chilies then. Turbo Extreme says, I get chili in the winter. Love a good chili. Sounds good. And Graham says, I'm overwintering my Roxy and Agi lemon chilies this year. Fingers crossed. I try and overwinter a few chili plants, but I always feel that we've got the chance to fall back on an option should we need to. Bethan says to Rebecca, I have the 60 seed module tray and they are very good and sturdy, but you need to pot the plants on quickly as the roots grow out the bottom very soon. I'm gonna pot them all and test. I've decided I'm going to try them all out and see how we get on. Right, let me just make a note. So we're doing the Xmas pizza Overwintering plants. Overwintering plants. And chili. Make a note of that, otherwise I forget what I've got to do. Trust me, I do forget quite often, as you've probably gathered. What was David said? There's a few sites you can get them on now. Oakland Gardens are just one. Expensive, but look like they will last. Now, that's an interesting point, David, because I've always said, I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I've always said that I can sometimes be a little bit tight, not wanting to spend money, but I don't mind spending money on things that are going to last. Or what I object to is spending money on things that don't last. So I'd sooner pay a bit more, provided it lasts. Digwell says, I found it to be very small and they did not fit into standard size gravel trays for sealed seed tray for watering. Interesting. Jenny Phil says, I'm just hoping I'll be awake for next week's live. Running an overnight incident hike for Scouts next week. Not sure I'll be getting a lot of sleep. I remember those days well. Remember those days very, very well. Rebecca says, thanks for the advice, everyone. Not a problem. And David Williams says, there's varying sizes, though, I believe. Yeah, things to think about. So Digwell is saying, see you next week, guys. As Andrew is saying, thanks for the show, Richard. Supper is ready, so got a dash. Until next week, night, everyone. Still got a couple of minutes to go. While we I don't know, what do we finish on? Who's looking forward to Christmas? Has anybody got any Christmas gifts that we've already spoken about this, but any Christmas gifts that they are looking forward to or asking for in particular? This question my wife is often asking me, what do I want for Christmas? And I usually have the answer, I don't have a clue. But now I would like a few more of these, actually. It might be worth a try. See what happens. Ido says, another great live stream. Have a good week, everyone. And Turbo Stream says, have a good week, everyone. Oh, it looks like everyone is packing up, ready to go. Well, there's still time to answer my question before we pack up. Yeah, everyone's going. David Williams saying, hoping to be back in my house by Xmas, but not looking good. Oh, I feel for you, mate. Hopefully it will get better. Turbo Stream, I'm not a Christmas fan. Always glad when it's New Year's Day. I'm not a Christmas fan as such. Don't like the lead up to Christmas, but I like the day itself because it's a day off work and a day when you have to sort of make the most of it. Stuart says, another great live show this week. I would love more time for Christmas as I always seem to be chasing my tail. I know how you feel. I would love more time. For these live shows. An hour and a half. When we used to do an hour, that didn't seem to cut. An hour and a half doesn't seem to cut it anymore either. If I had more time, I would do 2 shows a week. I just do not have that time anymore. But who knows what happens in the future. Right, guys, it is now 7:30, so I'm going to start wrapping this one up. Anna Jones says, you want Wolf Garden tools for Christmas, Richard? We all do. Yeah, I'm sure that was. Idaho says, this show always inspires me for the coming week. That's the idea. Absolutely, that is the idea. Graham says, brought 9 kids up. Christmas is expensive. I feel for you there. I definitely feel for you there. Stream. I enjoy a Christmas Day bike ride and my haggis dinner, though, with a bottle of beer. I like my Christmas Day walk. I do like my Christmas Day walk. Exactly, Richard. Lead up too long now for Christmas. Great day. Yeah, that's my stance as well. Lead up is too long. The day is fine. Rebecca says, thank you. It's been lovely to sit down and watch the show. Good night. Well, lovely to see you again, Rebecca. And I'm glad that you are okay. Ballison says, good night, all. Great show. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks so much for joining me. We will be back again next Sunday at 6 o'clock, as always. We're getting ready for the Christmas show. We will be live on Christmas Eve, don't forget, and we're doing the pub quiz. Right, guys, you take care. I better set myself up. So next Sunday it's about overwintering plants. We've got a chili sour long, and I've got to make a pizza. Right, guys, you take care. See you again next time.